What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another video of Cristiano stuff. Today, we're going to be talking about Eurovision. For those of you who do not know what Eurovision is, it's a song competition held in Europe. It's also like a performance competition, which is why what we're going to talk about today is even harder to pinpoint other than the fact that it's subjective. But I'm going to be ranking the songs and how well I want them to do, not how I think they'll do. I also have bookie odds and an overall ranking for them. I'll be doing it alphabetically, and I also said whether or not they'll make the final based on how the system works. So 10 countries from each semifinal make the final, as well as the 6 countries who are locked in, which includes like the 5 who are automatically, which is France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK, and then the winner from last year, which in this case is Sweden, who won with the song Tattoo by Loreen, which should not have won, should have been Finland, although with Finland's submission this year, maybe it's a good thing, because it was a much worse song than the Sweden song, in my opinion. Do I think it was excellent? No, but it's better than Finland's song, which a lot of people are going to find controversial. We'll talk about that, but first, let's start with Albania, who is the first country alphabetically competing in this year's competition. Bookies have them at 29th, and I put them at 27th, which, based on the process, they're in the second semifinal. So based on the process, they did not make it. The second semifinal was very competitive. For like the 10th country to make it from the second semifinal, so like the worst one was 15th overall, which means that only 5 countries that were not in that same competition did better, right? That's pretty impressive. So very competitive. This song would be pretty close to the edge otherwise. For example, I need to find it on this screen of mine, but the last country to make it from the from the first semifinal was somewhere in the pretty low 20s, or in the 20s for the actual final, and it was probably somewhere in the low 20s overall. Hold on, if I just scale through, Cyprus might be it. I know that it was pretty low. Serbia's also close. We'll get there. Okay, so it appears that it's Cyprus, and we'll talk about that later. Albania's song, it's grown on me a little bit. It's called Titan. Look it up. It's decent. I rated it a 4 out of 10, and this is on the Eurovision song scale. Part of it is how I think they'll do stage-wise, performance-wise, which I honestly think is one of the strong suits of the song. The lyrics are decent. The vocals are decent. It just does not pop. It's not a Eurovision-y song. It's okay. That's basically all I can say about it. Next is Armenia, who I think has gotten a lot of attention from Eurovision itself, and then obviously fans of Eurovision. However, the bookies rated them pretty low at 18th. I don't think this is accurate. I think they'll do much better. I rated them 12th, which is translates also to 12th in the final. They once again came from semifinal too, so they actually were kind of close to the cut. Like, they almost didn't make it, despite being one of the better songs in the whole competition, in my opinion. You know, there's 38 songs or 37 songs, and they were 12th. You know, that's top third, and they almost did not make it to the final. That tells you something. But I rated it an 8 out of 10 as Eurovision songs go. There's a very nice trumpet solo. It's just a fun song, and I think the personalities of both people in the group, which is known as Ladanika, the song is Jaco, I believe. You know, both personalities are great, especially Jacqueline, which is the lead singer for the group. I don't actually know the guy's name, but he's a multi-instrumentalist, and he's pretty cool. But that's really all I can say about him. Next, we have Austria, who is that 10th from the second semifinal. The bookies say they're 17th, so right ahead of Armenia. I say they're 15th, which is better than the bookies, but worse than Armenia, and that gives them 15th in the final as well. And I said this means that I rated them a 7, which is pretty good. It's very Euro dance as a genre. It's called We Will Rave, if that gives you any indicator of what this song is like. Not bad, but I mean, maybe not special either. It's okay. It's basically how I would slate it out to be. Then we have, Australia. This is one of our worst ones. There's 37 songs, reminder. I have 36th, which means it's not a finalist. I rated it a 2 out of 10. It's called like One Mikali, which means one blood. There's one interesting thing about it that I like is that some of it is in an Aboriginal or Aborigines language. I don't know the name of the language. I've seen it before. Do check that out. It's at least an interesting song, but I don't think it's a good song. Perhaps it's a bit Eurovision-y, and I think it could do okay. Bookies say it's going to do 25th, or that's where they rank it for odds to win. But I don't think that's going to happen. Definitely won't win. It might not make the finals. I say it won't make the finals. I wouldn't want it to make the finals based on my own personal opinions of these songs, right? But it's interesting. Kind of boring, once again. Lyrics are not great, but there is some Aborigines language in it, which is cool. That's all I have for it, though. Then we get to Azerbaijan. This song is given pretty negative ratings by the bookies, 33rd. I think this is harsh. I think it's a good song. There was a song back in the day by a guy named Nadir Rustamli for Azerbaijan. It was called Fade to Black. Had the highest note in all of that Eurovision, and it was a great song. I like it a lot. I still listen to it. But it did not do exceptional. I think there's like an anti-Azerbaijan bias, even if they're good songs. I think this song kind of has relatively similar vibes. It's more on the down low, low-key, chill end, though, as music goes, compared to that other song. But it is very good still. So yeah, I give it 14th, and then that makes it 14th in the final as well. They're in much easier first semifinal, so good for them. And I rated it a 7.5 out of 10 out of Eurovision songs. And then we come to our next, Belgium, who I put just above Armenia with 11th place, which puts them at 11th in the finals. And the bookies say they have the 11th best odds to win. 8.5 is how I rated the song. It's called Before the Party's Over, and it's pretty good. I mean, there's definitely things to critique, but I think that overall it's a good song. Would listen. I mean, I used to not like this bunch of Eurovision songs. I was initially critical, but I think that they're good now. I've come to like them. So Belgium's no exception. We move to Croatia. The bookies have them best odds to win, and I think that's mostly justified. I gave them 4th, which makes them 4th in the final as well, and that's a 9.5 rating out of 10. You know, they say that only the song, your favorite song, the perfect song, should win, or should get that 10, I mean. And so I was jumping by 0.5s. There's ties throughout, and I had to pick which one I preferred out of those 9.5s or 8.5s or whatever it may be. I did rank this one of the lower 9.5s. I mean, there was 4 that I had, and this was my 3rd best. So it was good, but it was just not, I guess, the stellar song that I was looking for, I guess. However, excellent. It's pretty good rock. It's called the Rem Tim Tagedim, which is a pretty Eurovision-y song name too. And I mean, listen to the song, watch the national live performance, and we'll see in the semifinals. It's a Eurovision song. It has a good chance. And that's why the bookies say first. It'll definitely do exceptional with populace, I guess, the regular voters, but the jury could be more critical. It's got a great story too. It almost didn't even get to compete in Dora, which is the national selection for Croatia. However, it did get to compete in Dora, and it didn't actually. It was like a replacement essentially. Or no, yeah, it did compete in Dora, but it was a replacement. Dora is decided by the Croatian people. However, the songs that get to compete in Dora aren't. So, as an alternate, it's a pretty big shock that it made it there. And everybody's grateful that it did because it has a great chance of winning. That is everybody except for the people who are below it or who are rooting for countries below it in the odds, right? They're like, why did this great song have to make it? Though I think that the hype is a little overrated by the bookies. I don't think it'll get first. Next we have Cyprus. Bookies say 20th. I gave it 25th, and this is one of the first instances that we'll see of this, which makes it 23rd in the final. So it did worse in my personal ranking, but better in the actual final. I rated it a 4.5 out of Eurovision songs. It's by Siliakopsis. It's called Liar. Kind of generic pop, not very Eurovision-y at all. A little mid, but definitely okay. Definitely interesting. Staging potential for sure, I'd say. And the artist, Siliakopsis, she's Australian, which is very funny. There's kind of a meme that the Cypriot selection committee or whoever selects for Cyprus does not know how to select actual Cypriots. But continuing, I think that it's pretty interesting. She's actually younger than I am. She's 17. I'm also that old, but in terms of 17, I am the older 17-year-old. Not by much, it's very close, but I am still older. I think she's like December 6th, so I was born before December 6th. Yeah. Anyways, continuing, we have Czechia. I think a lot of people have liked the song. I have not. It's overrated. The energy is there. It's got good energy. It's kind of Eurovision-y, which is something that I think most people appreciate, but I don't like a lot about it. It's just kind of mid. It's pop rock, which they kind of tried with Domi, like turn the lights off or something like that. Where are you now? Don't know the name of the song. Don't remember it at least. But I did like it more than this. I think this is comparatively worse. Okay, but not great. So yeah, it did not make the finals as it was in the second semifinal, but I rated it 30th. Bookies are saying 32nd, and then my rating for it was a 3 out of 10. Definitely got the Eurovision factor, but I don't think it gets the other factors. I think that there are many better songs in this year's competition. Speaking of, our next song, slightly better. I gave it 28th, which is still non-finalist since it's in the silver semi, the second semi, right? Bookies said 26th, so not far off, and I gave it a 3.5 rating. It's kind of boring. The voice is good. I think that a lot of people have at times been like, this is a decent song, but nobody thinks it's going to win, and I don't. I also agree it won't win. Estonia is next. Bookies say 23rd, and I think this is great disrespect. I say 6th, which makes it 6th in the finals as well. And rated it a 9 out of 10. I think it's very Eurovision. The Marco Poisson dance, or Vason, I mean, that's one of the guys in the group that made the song. It's great. It's very Eurovision-y. It's fun. There's a song, kind of a joke song, not an actual competition song, but it was sang at Eurovision by the hosts like Petra and Måns Zelmerlöw, who's a famous Eurovision competitor. And Måns and Petra, whatever her last name is, I don't know, they sang the song. It's called Love, Love, Peace, Peace, and it's basically a guide on how to win Eurovision. They say you need the fiddle, which this song doesn't have, so one thing that they're missing in order to win Eurovision. but it also says have a weird random traditional element or instrument. You can make it up if you want, which the Estonians did bring with the tallharpa. And then you have, there's other elements. They also say that it's best if an old person is playing the tallharpa, and although Marcus plays, or Vason is only like 46, which ain't that old. He looks old. He's got a beard, big beard. I don't know. There's a lot of elements from that song that is meaning. Go investigate for yourself. I would recommend. Next is Finland. Bookies like this song more than I do. They said 16th. I said 23rd, but it still makes the finals as the 21st song in the finals because of the being in the first semifinal. It's a major advantage, as you can tell. But I rated it at 5.5. This is one of the very Eurovision-y songs, kind of a joke song. Sometimes those hit, sometimes they don't. And recently they haven't been hitting too much with me. The last big example of one that did hit with me, and there's been more since then for sure, but the last one that for sure hit with me was from 2006, We Are the Winners of Eurovision by LT United. It was the Lithuania song. They got 6th. They were not the winners, but I did like it. Kind of one of the earlier songs in my Eurovision journey, I suppose, so biased there for sure. But this song isn't great. Oh, Cha Cha Cha, Finland's last song from last year. Kind of a joke song, but it's also got some serious meaning behind it, as some would like to say with this Finland song called No Rules, but I think that it's just kind of brash, I suppose. And it doesn't achieve Eurovision hilarity as well as some people like to say it does. That's an opinion, of course, but what are you going to do without having opinions? Next, we have one of those Big Five auto finalists, and it's France's song. Bookies have it at 6th. This one, I am okay with it making it as an auto finalist because I put it 8th, which is good, and would have made it in either final or either semi regardless. And then I put it 8th in the finals, of course, because there's not eliminations before then. And I rated it an 8.5, along with some other countries. Belgium was one of them, so this one got the nicer end of the 8.5 stick. In fact, I think it's the highest 8.5 that I gave. If I could find 7, yeah, that's the highest 8.5 I gave. So yeah, it's a good song, very French, but I also think that France needs to shake up its strategy. And I think I know why they're doing what they do. It's because it works to an extent. The going with the Frenchy songs makes the French like Eurovision, which they currently don't right now. So if you could get the French to like Eurovision, maybe that means you'll have good Eurovision competitors, right? And it'll create a culture, as they have in the Netherlands, as we'll get to. But continuing, we have next is Germany. Bookies have it at 22nd. This is a gross overestimate. The song, great vocals, I will admit, but it's in English, it's German. Germany just does not do Eurovision right. Last year they had a song that a lot of people liked. I didn't like it, but a lot of people did, and it still did worse. Like the worst. It got 26 in the final. I at least think it'll do slightly better because somebody did pretty bad as an auto finalist. But I give it 25th still. I rated it a 3 out of 10. It's just not the song. It's not where it's at. 29th overall. But the bookies say 22nd, and that's just not the case. It's doing much worse. And I guess since it's going to be a finalist, you can obviously say that all of them are going to be in the top 26, right? Because there's 26 finalists. And based on what the bookies are saying, yeah, it's the case. The lowest is the other one that did worse, in my opinion, with 24. Germany got 22nd. So, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, next we have Georgia, the Caucasus nation, not the southern state. And they got 15th by the bookies. I say 13th, and that's also 13th in the final. And they were a silver semifinal group, so that's competitive. So good for them. doing as well as they did. They got an 8 from me. And if we look at this, the 3 Caucasus nations I've already come by: Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. And I ranked them 12, 13, 14. Now, the bookies say very different things. They say 15th, and we'll do it in order, So 12 got 18th, 13 got 15, according to the bookies, and 14th got 33rd. But what I will say about the Georgia song is it's finally succeeded in what Georgia's been trying to do for a long time. Georgia's been trying to break into the mainstream pop and, successful pop from Eurovision, by Eurovision standards. But they've struggled in the past, especially last year with a song called Echo by Iru. And honestly, it wasn't bad, but the English was egregious. It didn't hit. And Georgia had to really change the game in order to make it successful. They did it this year, for sure. The artist Nitsa Butsaladze, or whatever her name is, did pretty well. The song is called Firefighter. Would listen. I would listen to all of them, frankly. People have different tastes than me, so you might like the country I rated last. In fact, I know for a fact that many people would like it. But continuing. My favorite song, this is it. Bookies have it 9th. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I know I said earlier, only give that song, the one that you think is the best, a 10 out of 10. Out of all the songs, not even just out of a given competition. Yeah, I think this might be the best Eurovision song ever. There's so many excellent songs. Alexander Rybak, love him. Fairy Tale was just a beautiful piece of art. I like this more, at least right now. I might be going through a phase. I might be a simp. Marina Sati, though, did amazing with this song. It's called Zari. Please listen. Please, please, please. If you're going to listen to any of these songs, I tell you listen to this one because it's amazing. But I give it first. Of course, first in the final is how I would like it to play out. It probably won't. I think it'll do exceptional with the people. If you look at the betting odds website, it comes in 7th among where people think it'll do, which is better than the odds say it's at 9. I think that some countries are being a little overestimated. Maybe it'll get a lot of 12s. I think this one has a chance to get a lot of 10s and 8s, whereas the 5th country here is Israel. Controversy, obviously, there. Not very many people are going to actually be willing to give it, whatever it may be. I think that it has a chance to get decent showings, but I just don't think that it's winner material for sure. But anyways, we continue. Also, Greece is going to have Cyprus as a voting bloc partner here. Will help them a lot. In fact, really any Balkan country is going to be rooting for Greece, as it has the best chance to win out of all of them, and I think they want to root for a regional fellow. It definitely incorporates a lot of Balkan sounds overall, so yeah. Anyways, next song, Iceland. Bookies say 29. Oh, hold on, that's not right. The bookies can't say 29 for 2 songs. Oh, yes, they can. Albania and Iceland both were 29th according to the bookies. I, of course, did not rate them the same, although they're pretty close. I put Iceland at 33rd, which is a non-finalist. I gave it a 2.5 rating. This song is just absolutely mid in all ways. There's nothing good about it. Albania at least has some elements going for it. The only thing that Iceland has is previous competitor going for it, and that's not really saying anything. Next is Ireland. This is that song that I rated last. I gave it 37th, and it's obviously a non-finalist. Bookies like it a lot. They gave it 7th. I rated it a 1.5 out of 10. Many people are going to disagree with me. I just think that I don't want to sound like the alt-right in the country of Ireland, because I'm not like the alt-right from the country of Ireland. But this song, there's just value issues. In the song, she's they are actively engaging in witchcraft. And I just feel like it's sacrilege or something. I also don't think it's great either, just like actually as a song. But I mean, it has some interesting elements. Definitely has potential for staging. I just like am morally opposed to it, and I don't like it on its own, regardless of the value issues. I mean, had there been no value issues, it would definitely be higher than 37th, but it wouldn't. It probably wouldn't be a finalist still. Definitely though, staging potential, lots of potential with the Eurovision fan base. I'm just more religious, I guess, than the average European, all right, or average Eurovision fan in general. So I give it lower, obviously, as a result, because you can listen to it. It's called Doomsday Blue or Doomsday Blues. The artist is Bambi Thug. Already, that the nomenclature sounds like concerning, I suppose. I don't know. All right, now we get to the controversial one. Some people have said this doesn't belong to deserve to be in the competition, like Russia's no longer in the competition. Unfortunately for Uno and Little Big, they would have won in 2021, I have no doubt. Unfortunately for Malaysia and, Russian Woman, though that's more of a COVID problem. Or is it reverse? Malaysia might have been after that. But, anybody Russian who would like to compete in Eurovision no longer has that opportunity. Unfortunate for them. Many people have said the same should happen for Israel. I'm not going to talk politics. What I will say, though, it's in the contest. Let's not dwell on the fact that they're in the middle of a conflict that has garnered much controversy. And instead, let's talk about the song. The song is called Hurricane by Eden Golan. And initially, I think Israel actually wanted to submit a political song, that was like, hey, guys, we're actually the good guys, or something like that. However, that doesn't fly with Eurovision unless you're Ukraine, or supporting Ukraine. So, bookies have it 8th because the vocals are exceptional, no doubt. I think that there's a little bit of a cheesy lyric or two in the song, and then also that it's, I don't know. I think that it's just weaknesses that make it to where it can't be one of those top tier songs, but it's almost breaking into that category, right? I gave it an 8.5 rating, which it shares with 3 others we already came across. 2 of those, Belgium and France, it did better than Belgium. However, the other country that got an 8.5 we'll get to, it did worse than. And then it did worse than France as well. France did the best out of the 8.5s. So the other country is 9th. Now you're just waiting to hear who it is, right? But yeah, I say it's 10th in the final, and I rated it 10th out of all the songs, which is good. This is nothing to do with politics, although Eurovision is a bit of a political contest as much as it tries not to be. But if Israel's in the competition, I'm going to rate them by their song, and they're in the competition. So that's how I rate them, by their song. Now we have Italy, one of those big 5 who automatically is into the final. Bookies have them 4th because it's a great song. La Noia by Angelina Mango, the son of Mango. You're famous if you can just go by Mango, like a fruit. He's now dead, sadly, but his daughter carries on his legacy by competing in Eurovision and having a very solid chance of winning. I rated this song 2nd, which means it is 2nd in the final, in my opinion. And it gets a 9.5 rating. So, assuming Greece didn't exist, or were banned from the contest because of, I don't know, invading Albania or something, like Russia happened to do it to Ukraine, then I would give this first. But, however, that's not the case, so we can't do that. And I think the bookies are being a little unfair, as we'll get to in a second. This song should at least be 3rd by the bookies, and that's considering future countries. We'll get to that. But, I mean, I guess the bookies are just understanding who's going to win, right? There's no bias here. But they have to consider the biases of people. You know, they have to guess those biases, essentially. And the biases of just the general populace definitely influence at least one of the countries above it. Anyways, we have Latvia next. 27th from the bookies. I put them 19th, but they were in the second semifinal, and so we're seeing it again, the crushing loss of being in that second semifinal, where you can be the 19th best song, which is just barely out of the top half, and you're not going to make the final. You know, there's 7 countries worse than you who do, all right, but you don't, and it's unfortunate. It's really sucky, but Latvia doesn't make it. The song is good, though. Hollow by Dons. It's not very Eurovision-y, but I do like it. It's a nice song, sweet song, pretty song, something like that. I rated it a 6 out of 10 out of the Eurovision scale. I mean, it has potential in some regards for staging. The national final was really weak staging, but if they were to capitalize on the power of staging in some way, then it could be good. And I think that Portugal, sort of a similar vibe as a song, as we'll get to, you know, it capitalized on staging. It made it work for it. I think that Latvia could do that, and it should do that. But we'll get there soon. First, we have our next country, Luxembourg. Oh, sorry, that's not right. Lithuania is next. Bookies say 13th. Oh, sorry, Latvia, did I say, was 27th by the bookies? Okay, considering Lithuania, bookies say 13th. The song is Luktelk by Sylvester Belt, which is an anglicization of their actual name, which is Silvestras Belta. So it's not that egregious, but it's still anglicized. But the bookies say 13th, I say 18th, which it makes the finals. It's 18th finals, and I rated it 6.5. Slightly better than its fellow Baltic brother in Latvia, much worse than Estonia, who did 6th in my ranking. But, you know, not horrible for the region. 19th, 18th, and 6th. I think it's better than they usually do, so they're not complaining. Next is Luxembourg, and I say for Luxembourg, 28th is what the bookies say, sorry. We'll start with the bookies. I say 16th. It gets that in the finals as well. Had it been in the silver semifinal, the second semifinal, it wouldn't have made it at all, which is crazy, and by 1 spot as well. But I rated this song a 7 out of 10. It's called Fighter. It's got some interesting lyrics, some French, some English, and this is Luxembourg's first time back since like 1996 or something along those lines. It's a very big deal. So welcome back, Luxembourg. I hope you do well, but I only can rate you 16th, which is better than the bookies, but still not the best. Next is Malta. The bookies have Malta last, 37th. And it's criminal that they would do this. However, I don't have them making the finals. I rated it a 6, 21st best song, but it's in that second semifinal. So there's no finals for Malta. Painful, I understand. If I were Malta, I would honestly be quite sad. But you know, life goes on, I think. And so, sorry to Malta, but this is life. Next is 36th, according to the bookies. 31st and a non-finalist, according to me. Rated a 3. It's Moldova. This is a Eurovision returner, Natalia Barbu. The song is In the Middle. And I think the vocals are interesting. It's decent. There's some good violin, which is, you know, trying to capitalize on one of those factors from Love, Love, Peace, Peace. You know, you gotta have a violin. There's even clapping, which I don't think is one of the factors in Love, Love, Peace, Peace that gives you a win. But it just is not good. It's not in the middle, according to me, or the bookies, or the rating, you know. It's just not great. Sorry, Natalia. come back another time, come back for take number 3, and maybe make it better, and we'll see about reevaluating this. But you're non-finalist for me. And next we have the Netherlands. I'm a Dutch nationalist, at least I'd like to say I am, despite the fact that I don't live in the Netherlands, I live in America. But the bookies say 5th, which is relatively appropriate. I think that a lot of people want it winning. If we look at the bookie app where I get all this information, or not app, but website, it's got the 4th for who should win Eurovision, 4th highest. I will say that it should get 3rd, and that means 3rd in the finals as well. I rated it at 9.5, and it got 2nd out of my 9.5s. So, 2nd place, who we have not got into yet, right? Hold up. Let me spot it. Yeah, no, we did. Italy, I think, is better. It's hard. This was hard to decide. My Dutch nationalist spirit is dying, I know, but I do think that the Italian song is better. Anyways, continuing. Norway, bookies say 12th, and I think that's decent. I said 7th, which means 7th in the final as well. Rated a 9, as well as Estonia, right? And I thought it was slightly worse than Estonia's. Less Eurovision, but definitely very good. It has some folk elements, which has been working for Norway, I believe. It's got Norwegian, which I always like when they sing in a foreign language, especially one of their own country, or if it's gibberish, fake. I like that too. Croatia kind of did that. The name of their song, Rim Tim Tuggy Dim, is supposed to be the name of a dance that doesn't exist, like a village dance. There's no Rim Tim Tuggy Dim. It's fake. It's very funny. I like it. But Norway just went with Norwegian, and I don't think that was a mistake. It was good. Next, we have Poland. Bookies say 31st. I say 32nd, which is a non-finalist. Rate it a 3. It's boring. It's bland. It's pop. Sort of. I don't know. It's just mid. The artist claims, her name is Luna. She claims to hold the power. She's going to build the tower. She has no power, according to me. She's losing. Sorry, but not sorry. It's not what Eurovision is looking for. Or maybe it is, but it's not what I'm looking for. It's not what the bookies think Eurovision looking for. So, sorry, Poland, but you're just not doing well this year, in my opinion. Next, we have Portugal. Bookies were rated it worse. They gave it 35. 35th out of 37, right? And I think this is harsh. It's finalist for me. I put it 22nd, but due to some eliminations from the second semifinal and this one being in the gold semifinal, or the first semifinal, it does make the finals. It finishes 20th, 5.5 rating. Latvia, who I put marginally above it, both in rating, 1, and in general. They need to work on their staging in a similar way to Portugal. These are similar songs. Portugal's is in Portuguese, whereas Latvia's is in English, which, why would I support the English song over the native language song? Good question. I don't know. I just like it more. I think that it's just more impactful, whereas Portugal's is hard to connect. But the staging definitely was better. So if Latvia does make the final, work on the staging. And if you do make the final, it's because you worked on your staging, I think. But Portugal seems to have gotten the staging aspect down out of those songs. Next, we have San Marino, 33rd according to the bookies. I'm sorry, I said 35th. I say 35th though. It's a non-finisher for me. Not a great song. It's in Spanish, despite the fact that San Marino is in the middle of Italy and they speak Italian. Weird things happen in the San Marino selection process. But I rated the song a 2. It just wasn't great. Portugal's, however, I gave a 5.5. Right, this is a 2. This is not it. Even Poland, I gave it a 3. This is a 2. It's not it. I didn't like it. There's always better songs, but I mean, I really think San Marino. I mean, San Marino knows it's not going to win anytime soon, and they send songs that reflect that. So this is one of those. I'm okay with it. It's interesting. Some people might like it. In fact, I know for a fact that there are people that like it, but I'm not one of them. Next is Serbia. I give it 20. The bookies say 21st. I gave it 24th, but that's 22nd in the semifinal when you consider those silver elims, those second semifinal elims, right? This is an average Eurovision song. I gave it a perfect 5. It's a ballad, decent ballad, repetitive, but, you know, kind of impactful. The lyrics or the meaning behind the song is good, but I just don't vibe with it too much, I suppose, which is weird wording, sure, but just how I feel. Next, we have Slovenia. Bookies say 19. I say 20th, which is 19th in the finals, due to our second semifinal elims. Poor guys. Hate to bring it up every time, but oh well. But I gave the song a 6 out of 10. The artistic vision here is excellent. The staging potential is amazing. The vocals are great. The meaning is good. I just think that the song is a little odd or strange. And it's in Slovenian, which is nice, but I also don't speak Slovenian, so, you know, you have to find a delicate balance between using your own language and also connecting to the audience in a way. And I just feel like this one, for some reason, doesn't do it. It's too mystical, too mysterious. It's almost like it's gatekeeping Slovenian, even though it's really not. I don't know. Elements of it just didn't hit with me. Didn't have Spain. Bookies say 24th because it's one of those auto finalists. I say 34th, but since it's an auto finalist, gotta put it in the final. Gave it 26th. It was bad. It was bad. I don't like the song. I know a lot of people do. Bookies clearly don't that much, but more than I do. Right? I think this is just a bad song. And I really wish it wasn't here. It annoys me. It irritates me. The meaning's decent. Definitely not opposed to the meaning, I suppose, but it's just, no. I just don't like it. I don't vibe. No. Give it a 2.5 rating. It's not where my head's at, I suppose. Next, we have Sweden. Not a finalist because they won last year. Once again, Loreen, Tattoo. Good song. I would listen. Euphoria is better, though. She's a twice winner, along with Johnny Logan of Ireland. Ireland has really lost its touch. But Sweden is keeping it to an extent. They had to bring in Norwegian twins, though, in order to get 14th from the bookies and 17th, both in the final and the rank from me, the personal rank. I rated it 6.5, which I did for a few other songs. I just don't know that it's stellar. It does get the best out of our 6.5s. Okay, I only gave 2 songs 6.5, but it's the highest of the 6.5s. So there's that. And then we have Switzerland. Bookies say 2nd. I think it's a great song. Implements very many genres. Has a deep meaning, especially to the person who wrote it, and one that I'm not opposed to. I mean, I think people should live their life how they want. It's a song about how the artist, Nemo, had to essentially break the binary, or the code. It's the name of the song, The Code, in discovering themselves as a non-binary individual. And I think that's great for Nemo. So I think it's a good song. Message is certainly one to espouse. I gave it a 9.5, but it was my lowest 9.5. I think that there's just something about it that's missing. The charm. I think there's staging potential just based on the way the song flows, but I don't know how you'll pull it off. It'll be challenging. We'll see how it goes, though. Next is Ukraine. They got 3rd by the bookies, and this is what I meant with Italy being robbed bookie-wise, because they got 4th. Ukraine's song is good. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I do like it, and I obviously feel the plight of the Ukrainian people. But this is a big one. It's so clearly people just pandering to that plight We should be looking at the songs as the songs they are. And obviously the song is very political. It's about the war. And if you support that message, then you can like the song. And I like the song. All right? If you dislike that message, dislike the song, which I don't dislike the song. It's a good song. But I think that we need to do as Eurovision says it does. Try to decrease politics. So, there's that. In the UK, it's our last. Boogie say 10th. I don't like it. I get 24th in the final, 26th rank overall, and 4.5 rating. It's really just not great. It's by quite a famous artist, though, so that's something at least to the Brits. But it means nothing to me. So sorry, Alexander, but you're just not where it's at for me. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy this Eurovision season. The semifinals are in 2 and 4 days, respectively. We'll see how it goes, and I might update y'all after both, and hopefully we have a good final, right? But thank you for watching. If you watched all the way, you're awesome. But yeah, hopefully you should listen to all these songs. They're great. But yeah, just have a great night, have a great day, have a great whatever time it is. Have a great everything. Just be great. And I hope you enjoy Eurovision this year. Thank you and bye-bye.